Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Bellis with Feel Good Qigong. So we're coming into our summer season. In Qigong, it's all about coexisting with natural law and understanding how natural law can help us live a healthier lifestyle. There's a lot of secrets and a lot of lessons to be learned through paying attention to nature. In Chinese medicine, there are actually 5 seasons. And so what they do is they break up the summer season to early summer and late summer. We are now in early summer, which started about 2 weeks ago and will probably it goes to about 10, 11 weeks. So towards the end of July. And there's always different segments that are associated to each season. One is a particular organ is associated to each season. So for early summer, it is the heart. There's also an emotionality piece, and that is joy. And of course, on the other side of joy, there's always the yin and the yang. The opposite of joy would be pain or sadness or hate. It's love or hatred. The seasonal movement, now that it's getting warmer, we can upgrade our movements that are a little bit more dynamic because there's more heat in the atmosphere, and the body is now, we've stretched it a lot during the spring. Now we can rev up the seasonal movement a little bit more. We usually use a little bit more the larger muscles, which are our legs especially. So the movements will be focused more on those kinds of movements using larger muscles. Um, and also the other thing about early summer, it usually is the time that things are budding, things are coming alive, colors. It's very colorful now, and that brings us into this joyful feeling. Now, it's not always joy. Even we're not always feeling joy, and especially now with this pandemic, there's a lot of collective grief and sadness right now. So we have nature's law telling us to get out and have fun and feel joy and be around a lot of people. But on the other hand, man-made laws are telling us, no, we can't really do that yet because of this pandemic, which we need to honor that as well. So there's this feeling of, I know I'm not feeling connected. I know a lot of people I talk to are just feeling still off. We're still not quite there yet because these two, nature and man-made, has not actually come together to feel the optimal level of what early summer brings us. So the idea is that we want to balance the yin and the yang of each season, because each season brings something different. And also we want to protect the heart, pay attention a little bit more to the heart, because if we're if we're feeling too much on the other side of hate, that's going to really disrupt the heart. It's going to bring some discomfort to our body. It's going to bring inflammation to the body. So it's always about, in Qigong, finding that balance, making sure that we're not too inflamed, making sure that we're doing enough or not enough. There's always finding that equilibrium to bring more comfort to our bodies and to our minds. So the big thing also about the organ of the heart, the element is fire for early summer. So fire is hot, fire is very vibrant, and we've got to be careful we don't burn out. And if we're feeling a lot of stress, which a lot of us are, we want to be really careful with that we're not so stressed out that you can have a heart attack. You've heard people say, oh, he died of a broken heart. I mean, you do get ill if you overdo the heat. So one thing that for my demographic, I teach older people, and I don't mean older, people over the age of 50, that's my demographic, because that's how old I am. I'm in my 60s, and I like to teach everybody, but I really feel connected to people more my age. And what happens is the body does slow down. And if we're following natural law, when heat rises and water falls. And this happens in our body because after a while, we're not circulating as well as we did when we were younger. So if we go with that idea that heat rises and water falls, it's happening in our bodies as well. What happens is the water is dropping down into our lower extremities, and the heat is rising into our upper body, which we don't want, because if we have too much heat in the upper body, you can have a heart attack, you can have a stroke, hypertension, dementia. I mean, the list goes on and on about inflammation in the upper body. If you have too much water in the lower body, you're not going to feel stable, because too much water makes you too fluid, and we don't want that feeling in the lower body. We want to feel grounded and sturdy in our lower body so we can move the upper body. The upper body can be more fluid. So we want the water in the upper body to cool down this heat. We want to move the heat down as we get the water up. The quickest way you can do that is your pumping stations in your body. And the pumping stations in your body for circulation are your calf muscles. It's a pumping action. If you jump up and down on your calves, you're going to pump those calves, and it starts to pump up your lymphatics. It starts to get that fluid up and the heat down. It then goes into the digestive system, which is your second pumping station. The digestive system pumps, and it assimilates your food into nutrients. And then we have our third pumping station, which is the heart. The heart's pumping the blood, the flow. So we have 3 pumping stations. We actually have 3 hearts, not just one. So my class for early summer, I'll do a little routine to get that water up and to keep the heat down. So that is the mantra for early summer: water up, heat down. And if you're feeling overexerted, or you feel like you're really too overly excited in the upper body, it's by simply just soothing your chest, just rubbing down and downward motion. This quiets down that inflammation, and it starts to bring the heat down. And the more you do these kinds of activities and the routine of what I'm going to be talking about, the body will understand, oh, I'm getting my heat down and I'm bringing the water up. So play around with that idea, and I'll get more into it as we move further into the early summer months. Thank you so much. Have a great day.